New for 96. With your hosts, Kevin McCauley and Chris Nguyen.
Did you notice that I have a key sleeve for my house key now? Like, it's attached to the door right now. You can't see the door, but...
No.
I greased my keyhole to make it less...
I'm going to steer clear of this.
Yeah, well, then my key got all greasy, and then my pants started getting greasy every time I put my keys in my pant hole. So...
Is it red because it means it's not recording?
I don't know.
Okay.
You act as if just because all this stuff exists in my house that I actually know how it works.
This is the first time I've ever seen the screen.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. I never show you like how the actual sausage is made as far as the audio goes, but I don't know either. So, I just bought all this stuff because it looks impressive. That's about it. Anyways, shall we start this?
Must we?
I guess. Welcome to another episode of
New for 96.
We're trying so hard not to say it too loud, and we just gently whispered that into the ears of the listeners.
This is the soothing tones of New for 96.
And not only is it New for 96, but we're currently recording in our new studio in Culver City, California. Just kidding. It's just the upstairs of my house. We've moved into my office. We are still in sunny, but actually rainy Houston, Texas. Still.
What typically happens is I come over to your house to record. You stumble out of wherever you've been and have to set up all the recording equipment, which takes an hour and 15 minutes.
It's very inconvenient for you how I have to trash my home, my very well-kept home, to put our studio together.
No one told you to keep it that well kept.
I know. It's the burden that I've chosen for myself. But now we've moved it into my office because I have this little rolling cart, and I think hopefully the audio sounds a little better too, a little less echoey.
I did get here an hour and 15 minutes ago. True to form. But I think this will be better going forward. I think the room will be better. I think this is less of an echo chamber.
Yeah. You also know better than to arrive on time or early, because I don't like getting to a place until I actually want to, which is usually 15 to 20 minutes late.
Right.
And it's not because I don't care about your time, it's that I care about my time more.
I
hope that answers
matches up with what I've observed. Yes.
Everybody's questions. Next. Anyways, how was your week?
It was good. It was good. Nothing eventful happened to me. What about you, Christopher?
Well, my God. Something did happen, and within a day of listing the Cayman, just on Craigslist as what was meant to be kind of a feeler, I got an offer from a buyer out of state, and they came down and bought the car. However, the car is still with me, and it will be for the next week or so, I think.
Have you gotten any kind of update from him?
No, not yet. So the check cleared. So I mean, the car is his, and so this buyer came in from out of town, and we had good communication throughout.
Where do you come from? Give us a specific zip code, address.
I don't know if I want to. I don't know
know.
how specific I want to get about this, just in case, on the off chance he will listen to this, which is very, very, very unlikely.
Hey, Chet, they're talking about you on this program.
Yeah, on the radio. So he's a nice fellow who is younger. The first thing he said to me, because this threw me for a loop for many reasons, but it might be kind of the linchpin in this whole him coming down and buying this car, is that he didn't know how to drive a manual. And so he told me, say, I've driven a manual once. I hope that's not going to be a problem. Will you drive me around? And I thought for sure, he's not buying this car. He doesn't even know how to drive. Who does that? He would have to drive this car 8 hours back. And so I took him around, which is kind of good because I could take him around, the route that I chose, and I could kind of show off the car in the ways that I need to show off the car, and
You're definitely the best person test driving your car is you.
yeah. Especially when the potential buyer doesn't know how to drive a stick. So we got back, and I will add that the person that he came down with insisted that
she came with him.
She came with him, sorry, and insisted that I teach him, like give him a lesson at least. And so this is all, by the way, prior to any signing, any money changing hands. So I'm like thinking to myself, what is the way that I can help facilitate this without like permanently damaging the car? And so I took him to some residential area nearby, empty-ish streets, and he got into third.
Did you regret removing the clutch delay valve?
The Cayman does not have the delay valve removed.
It doesn't?
No. It's electronic, and it's a button that you can tape down, basically, but the tape never holds, and so I gave up. And so he got the car going. I will say that I think I'm really good at teaching people how to drive stick, because I just kind of start with the concepts. I also kind of
Can you teach me?
Yeah, okay. One day.
All right,
Johnny. But anyway, so I was able to like get him going without stalling, and I told him that you're probably going to stall a few times, and he stalled once. And he got the car going very slowly, and he got to third, and he was fine with that. So after we concluded the transaction, he decided that it was probably best that he not take his new-to-him car that is very expensive to fix and attempt to learn how to drive stick all the way back to his home 8 hours away. So it's probably going to be shipped, or he's going to fly a friend down. I've parked the car back in the garage, and I told him it's no problem. I haven't found another car yet, so he's welcome to keep it there for the time being, and it's there. So,
well, congratulations on the sale.
Yeah, I can't believe how fast it sold. And like the last car I sold, well, not the last car, because that was the GTI, but the car before that. Well, technically, the last 3 cars I sold within like a few days of me listing it, which either means that I've listed them for too low, or I have to stop accepting interesting trades. So,
did you? What was I going to say? Did you list? You listed it, and then you got one additional offer, or did multiple people inquire?
Yeah. It's Craigslist, so I got like a few inquiries about it. But this buyer seemed very serious, so I kind of like said the car was pending sale, and it sold, so it was best case scenario. And that actually happened with the BMW too.
Have you ever gotten any interesting trade requests?
I have not. I wish I did, because I really want to know what people want to trade for.
When I was selling my 350Z, I got a interesting trade request for a Wrangler. Yeah. It was like a little bit modified Wrangler.
Interesting. I guess there are some convergent paths there.
Yeah.
Wrangler Jeep people and 350Z people.
Maybe not that divergent.
Hard to say. But no, I don't know what, like, honestly, unless it was the car that I always look like, no one's going to trade an air-cooled for a Cayman. Although, like, someone had, like, said, hey, I have, like, this pristine E36 M3 or something, sedan. It would have piqued my interest, but that would have to be the most perfect
right
E36 M3 ever, and I wouldn't even be in the market. I would love to get one if one came across my searches, but I'd be looking like in the under 15 grand. Like,
I wonder how that works. Like, if you have to pay like registration on it, if you have like an agreed value of like, oh, it was a handshake. Like, what? How do they? You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
I have no idea. But that, I wonder if like there's something about, like, I do want to get an M3 of some kind at some point in time. Not anytime soon. Like, it's just not a high desire at the moment, but I've just like been noting like E36s are kind of going up in price now. I don't think they're gonna skyrocket either, but it'd be kind of neat to get like an older one, maybe higher mileage but well kept. That's just kind of like a different experience.
And this is a really stupid question, but like, could you put an S54 or S52 into your E91? I know it's a you don't hear people going backwards a generation, but
no, I'm sure you could do it.
But also, since the 330 was so similar, the 330 was basically a carryover E46 engine, and then and yours is like the 330, but without that manifold or something.
Without the 3-stage intake manifold.
I didn't need the details.
Well, it's too late. And they had it's a different it's a very similar engine. It's not quite the same, but they kept that engine in Europe, and it was actually higher. It was, I forget what it was that was restricted here, but it had a higher horsepower rating. Like mine had 255, and in Europe it was like 275. So that was, which is kind of significant.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more likely people would put like, I don't know, like an S65 or something in there and do like an actual like M3 conversion.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I think, like an S52 or an S54 would be like a silkier, like keep the straight six, like, it's not as like radical of a change, like just like more
likely someone would put like 335 engine in.
No.
Yeah, which is it's just like that engine has never been a draw for me at all. It's quick, but like there's just something about it that the sound, the way that they drive, it's not very enticing for me.
I also I don't like the look. I don't know. I'm sure there's been others, but I don't like that look of a BMW with like two little exhaust tips on either side. And they're probably not that little, but just like instead of like the quad tips or instead of two on one side, it's like the one little one over here and one little one over there.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking.
That's like the first thing that comes to mind with a 335, and also like the awful proportions because most of them are coupes.
Yeah, I agree. I saw one today. I didn't mind like the kind of like dual exhaust from the 335 because I guess there was at least a little bit of balance there. But I saw one today, like because then I don't know, like maybe they haven't aged as well. And classically, like prior to that, like BMW never, unless it was an M car, they didn't do like mirrored exhausts on both sides. It was always like it was all on one side, and it was chrome tipped or it's not, which was kind of discreet.
Very discreet.
It's very discreet, which I liked. But yeah, as far as like the wagon, as far as the wagon goes, it just reminded me of something. Yeah, like for me, if I did ever do like an engine swap, I would probably follow like the lead of everyone else and just put like the M3 V8 in there, and call it a day. But then you have to do the body, obviously, and everything else.
It's just so severe. Like you're really drastically changing like the weight and the balance of the car and everything. Yeah. And actually, I don't actually know what it weighs, and maybe it's not. Maybe it goes further back in the firewall. But that's a very dramatic switch. Like I think it would be interesting if you just had like a different straight six with more power, a little more rawness, and everything.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. And well, I mean, if I did that though, honestly, I would get an E46 wagon and then put that engine in it, because it just makes more sense, I guess. I mean, not that these things have to make sense, and they don't make sense, I guess. But speaking of which, I ran into 2 other E91s today, and I do the thing where if there's an interesting car and I'm walking by it, I will look in to see if it's a stick. And sure enough, there was another 328i pre-LCI that was a stick. So
was
2 of 473 wagons rear-wheel drive stick ever made were sitting in the same lot.
Wow.
I know, it's probably not that amazing, but
S-Drive?
It was not S-Drive.
It was not X-Drive.
It's not X-Drive. It was rear-wheel drive.
That's S-Drive.
All right.
Don't you know those horrible names, this horrible marketing speak? Such as they use this. Let me tell you about this one horrible term they use. It's LCI. It means life cycle impulse.
You try searching facelift anytime you need to look up anything BMW related. It doesn't work because there's a word for it. There are 3 words for it.
Your Google history is so boring.
I think one time I had a Google, like the last 3 search results were like cross cabriolet bra, like it's something like Chevy Vega and like
Prowler trailer
Kanye lamp or something like that. It was a weird day, but that was kind of cool to see it. I wish I saw the owner. Like I took a picture, like just a quick snap of the 2 cars next to each other. So I pulled up next to him, but
I saw that red. It looked like Imola red wagon at Laguna Seca in the in just like the parking area, and it was a 2-wheel drive E91 wagon, pre-LCI. I sent you the picture. It was red, and it had the license plate 3-pedal wagon.
Yeah. Ooh.
But as soon as I saw it,
I hate that, but yeah.
Yeah, it was at Laguna Seca, and I was like, I bet that's a manual, just because of like where it is. It was a wagon.
Yeah.
Then I saw this shifter, and then I saw the plate.
Yeah, I would never get a vanity plate like ever, I don't think. But I did think about like putting that car and driver save the manuals sticker. It's a little big, and it's not quite designed like in a way that I would like a sticker to be designed, but I'm contemplating it. Why not?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I might also put like a BMW CCA like little badge on the kidney.
No, don't do that.
Really? Like a small one, the little it's like a little shape of America or the U.S.
I'm familiar.
Yep, like a little tiny one.
Are you a member?
No.
Okay. All right.
But I will be, because that's the only way I can get one.
Okay, can I wanted to share a very boring McLaren F1 thing. And I mentioned this to you previously, and you fell asleep, which was very dangerous because we were driving at the time.
Yep. No, I was not, but I was on my living room floor, and Kevin was telling a story, and I decided to take a quick exit.
Yeah, that is
by way of taking a nap.
On the first few episodes of this show, we always had something to say about the BMW E34.
Yep.
And I'd like to carry that torch more, because I learned something this week, and to make it short, so in 1997, and yes, we're jumping ahead, but the 1997 McLaren F1 GTR was the race car with the long tail, actual long tail, not like the current long tails, which I love, but they're like 2 centimeters wider. Yeah. This one was, it was 60 centimeters longer. And I read an article from 1997 where they interviewed Gordon Murray in Motorsport, and he was talking about how the rules in FIA GT basically were kind of laxed to kind of give, not an advantage, but just to kind of make it a little easier for the naturally aspirated cars, because so many things were turbocharged and whatnot. And he said if that hadn't happened, they would have had to use a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 in a McLaren F1 GTR, and it would have been a BMW V8, which they had already lined up, a BMW twin-turbo V8. And this just blew my mind, because I know a lot about the car. I've never heard of this. I've never contemplated this. I've never contemplated a McLaren F1 with a turbocharged engine, especially a V8. And I thought this was really interesting, especially because that V8 would have been the M60 probably. It's not like with V12s or with straight sixes in the BMW family where there's a million versions, and it's like, oh no, they wouldn't have just taken this off the shelf thing. They would have done this and done this. Right. Like, it's the McLaren F1 V12 made by BMW is not just like, it's not even related to the 750 V12. It's its own thing. But with the V8s, like famously, BMW didn't make V8s for 25 years. Yeah. And then they made the 3-liter M60 and the 530, and then the 4-liter and the 540. Yeah. And so this was 1997. It would have been derived from that 540 engine. Oh, it would have been a V8, and it would have been
super cool. Actually, that would have been such great heritage.
Yeah, and so I was digging into this. I didn't see anything about this. I don't think this was related, but in 98 to 2002, Bentley used a twin turbocharged version of the M62, which is the 4.4 liter version.
Yeah. 4.4 liters.
Yes.
Yep.
They used a twin turbo 4.4 liter M62 in the Bentley Arnage Green Label, which was developed by Cosworth.
Yeah.
That engine.
Yeah.
So that was a twin turbo, M60, which was interesting.
I think I knew that, but yeah, I love those Bentley submodels where like they probably all go the same speed if we're honest, but I just the names are just so, there's just something like so old world, like this is just, it's a go fast like barge.
Well, Bentley was so interesting then because you had to be weird and eccentric to want to get one.
Yeah.
And you had to pay way more money. I will argue to anyone that the Continental GT is one of the least interesting cars in the world.
I agree.
But anyone could get one.
Yeah.
And back then,
although the Super Sport was kind of, I think you hate the Super Sport, but I thought it was a little interesting.
Fundamentally hate the Super Sport on many levels. But back then, I mean, I remember as a kid, like in the late night, I remember I wasn't that much of a kid, but I remember seeing in the late 90s, you'd see a Bentley Arnage or something. And it's like, what is that? Arnage. Why is it here? Yeah. What is the story? I mean, because it's like, it was arguably worse than a 7 Series.
Oh, sure. Definitely.
But it was just interesting.
They
were
so really interesting. Elegant looking, too.
For sure. For sure.
And there's just something like, I way prefer older Bentleys to newer ones. Like they kind of capped out in the early 2000s. Because they were old bodies too. Like so I guess the Continental GT was probably the first, right, of this new.
Yeah, that was the first design. New one where they're like, hey, what if we did like a shitload of volume?
yeah, like every manufacturer basically.
Yeah,
what if we like hand built them but shittier? And like there's just something so unimpressive about the Continental GT just in general. Like you've sat in one, like I'm sure at like a car show at the very least. Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, I drove one to Dallas once.
Oh, really?
The interior was very aggressively quilted.
Yeah. I don't understand why like quilting and being an interior designer, like I have very specific opinions about like styling and automotive styling. There's a quick landslide to like terrible, and quilting's not necessarily terrible, but when it's everywhere, I don't understand that.
I think in the Passat CC, it was like amazing because it was really subtle. It was like on the inserts, I think. Or maybe it looked really good.
Yeah,
I mean, and it looked fine on this Bentley, but there was too much of it. I feel like there was parts of the dash that were quilted.
Car guys like slide into like too much so easily. It's just kind of like like when your car is a color, your interior should probably also not be like aggressively that color as well. I guess unless it's black, but even then, like black on black is not necessarily a good. It's, of course, I've owned 2 cars, and my last car that the Cayman is black on black, and not by choice. It was just the only car that I could find at the time.
Would you say, is the Celsior black on gray?
It's black on gray.
Yeah.
I did want a black car just because of the maintenance once again, but the gray is fine. It kind of works. It's very 90s gray, I guess. So it's not interesting, but it's just kind of there and it works. But I was trying to think of what was the one that like Jeremy Clarkson had tested on Top Gear, the older Bentley. It was like the equivalent to the Super Sport, Brooklands.
Yeah, the Brooklands. That was so cool.
Oh, that's so cool. Like I would, if I had like the stable, like the Dream Stable, that would definitely be one of those cars. And there's just something like so discreetly aggressive about it, I guess. Like I'm sure it's not like even that great to drive, but like it's just a big, powerful thing.
It's like the cliche of like an iron fist and a leather glove.
Yeah,
like that's what that is. It's so cool. It's so much power and might and brute force from that 6 3/4.
Yeah,
the 6 3/4 V8.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's and it's like this old world styling, but there's just something about those proportions and everything that you can't get.
And the interior is so purposefully dated too, like in a good way. Like it looked like an old car on the inside, at least those older ones. Where they had, I'm almost certain they have like pull knobs, like if there were a choke. You know what I'm talking about, like the pull knobs. I don't even know what they were for, but anyways. But I just like the switch gear and just how the interior was put together. There was just kind of like a tie to its history almost. Although I guess one could argue that they were badly designed, and so that's part of their heritage. So they carried that forth.
Yeah, stick through that.
Yeah. Yep. Porsche did that for a while.
Yeah.
Like, it had the same interior up until, like, 1998, basically. And now they're bringing it back, so, for the 992. And so, which, like, they're getting dangerously close to 993. So, what are they going to do?
They are dancing around these 99 numbers.
Oh my god, it's like tickling at the 993 when the 992.2 comes out.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do, Porsche? Like, with your really illogical naming conventions, you're just jumping all around.
If they go to 994, I'm jumping off of a building.
That would be amazing if they just like completely like, well, it's the 994 now.
I mean, we mentioned this, but it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why they went from 997 to 991.
No. It should have been the 998.
Would have been fine. And you know, so Ducati tackled this with the same numbers basically 20 years ago. Yeah. They had 996. Yeah. They had 998. They went to 999, and then they just went to like 1098, which I think they were all quasi-displacement related. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know. You wouldn't improve by 1 cc. But anyway, I liked how they handled that. I would like it if Porsche, especially like with the 991, it should have just gone to, because the 991 it was the most radically new Porsche ever. Most radically new 911 ever. More than even 996, versus 993. That was a big change, but I think there was still some carryover little things and interior sensibilities and stuff. I think 991 was a pretty big leap. And
it was fresh. Like, it was a fresh,
totally different size and proportions and platform and everything. Yeah. And if they could have started at like 1001, just said like 1001, or just shorten it to 001.
Do you know why a 964 is a 964? I don't know. Like,
no, I don't know.
Okay. And then why they decided to go with 993 after that. And then 996 kind of made sense. At least it was kind of in line in numerical order.
They're really regretting like skipping those 3 digits.
I know.
Like, we could have used those then.
Yeah, because eventually they would have reached 999, and that would have been really weird. And then what do you do after that? It should have been the 1000.
Yeah, or like just something.
That'd be weird. Like, the 1000.
Cool. It would be cool, or like 1001, or something obscure like 1004. But you shorten it to just the last 3.
Yeah, but again, numbers. What do they mean? What are they for in today's day and age? I like what I see, like, as the 992 images are revealed on
I like that front cut line.
I do too.
I love the cut line of the hood. It's like a short hood. Yeah. Again. Yeah. It's like an air-cooled short hood, like a Carrera or something, where it's the hood meets at this point. Like, I think it's really cool, and it does really evoke that. It does,
and it's kind of interesting that they're like, with each generation they have been dialing it back to the classic styling, because like with the last one they went back to the round headlights, and then
you mean with the 997?
Oh, sorry, with the 997 rather. Yeah. And then I'll say for the 991 the Targa returned to retro roots, although I don't really care for the Targa's styling. And then with this one,
I wish on the Targa, I wish that the middle piece was just body color and not
I agree.
like a piece of metal with a canvas stretched over
such a literal like translation of. I just have a problem with kind of like that direct copy, like, oh, you guys liked this stuff? Well, get ready, because we're just gonna randomly slap it on like a new body style.
Well, I just don't like that it's got this canvas roof that is so ornamental. Like it's such dishonesty in materials. It doesn't even have to be body color because I understand that would add cost.
Yeah.
But if it was just like gloss black,
I agree.
It would be way cooler. But it's this canvas
it's fake.
thing.
It's a Landau.
Fake.
It's a Landau top.
It's a Landau top.
Oh my god, Porsche! What did you do? Like, yeah, it's a Landau top.
Totally.
Oh man, but yeah. So and then with this one, yeah, they're bringing back the cut lines from the G models, and then the interior. I mean, I guess I haven't really revisited if there are new shots of the interior.
We saw it a couple months ago, and the interior definitely has that severe kind of
that like forward lean, that like the shark nose.
Yeah, exactly, shark nose dash.
Yeah. Which I think that's cool. Like, I think that'll be cool. And this to me is a better interpretation of their old design, or the design that obviously, that's the things, I don't know that these are the things that people like were hanging their like interest in either, but I think they're welcome like callbacks. And it's not, what I like about it is that you cannot slap the word retro on it. And I think that's important.
Right.
So,
well, it's like everything gets the same. It's like, oh, how can we tweak this one aspect to be more like our heritage? You know what I mean? It's like, I think in the last, probably in the 997, it was just like, how do you do a car dashboard? Okay, how do you do it more refined? And now it's like, well, everyone's doing refined dashboards with these great materials. Let's do a different shape, different design that recalls this.
Yeah,
it's differentiation.
Yeah,
in an interesting way without being ornamental in most cases, except for that Targa. Yeah,
I agree. So I look forward to seeing it when it finally does roll out.
Yeah, totally.
I hope they don't do like modern interpretation of Fuchs, though. I mean, they did that, I guess, kind of with the 50th anniversary.
The 50th anniversary was okay.
Yeah. I hate modern like replica Fuchs, like the 18-inch ones that I don't know, like many manufacturers probably make them, but they just don't look good.
Yeah, Porsche makes. Oh yeah, I don't like them. Whenever you see them on, especially like I'll see them in like a 964.
Yeah,
and it'll be like a 17-inch Fuchs or an 18-inch Fuchs, and it like will have
it's just
no
too
dish
big.
though.
Yeah,
it's just not good. But Porsche makes them, and they put them on one of the special editions. I think it was the Speedster and the Club.
Oh yeah,
the Sport Classic.
Yeah.
And then we saw at Luftgekühlt there was a 993 Speedster project, and it had those wheels.
Yeah, that custom made one.
Fantastic.
Yeah, mainly I think that worked well on that car because like the whole car like was a one-off build basically.
Yeah, it somehow fit and worked with the motif.
Yeah, because it was such an extreme thing that they had done. Although I mean, I guess it is extreme. I mean, they chopped the roof, and I have to remold the back a little bit.
Yeah, well, they didn't really chop. I don't think they chopped the roof
or chopped the.
They got the
windshield.
They got the right windshield, I think. I think they used the Speedster windshield.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
I guess that would be a lot easier than chopping and then forming custom glass. Yeah, I'm sure it's custom glass anyways. Can you imagine like having to replace a Speedster windshield?
I've heard it's $8,000.
Jesus, that's crazy.
I like the fact that that's a rare enough thing, but I know the number. But what they used the Speedster on. So the first two, if I could bring us back to GT1 for a moment.
Oh no,
they used the Speedster windshield on the first two 911 GT1s.
Oh really?
Yeah. Because it was like shorter and it fit, and then 1998 was the year that it was a pure spaceship.
It's a cool that could be like the best lie ever because like that's so cool. I would never have like thought to make that connection.
Yeah.
But that makes sense though. Yeah, because it's so so what's the description? Like what are they? Gunslit or whatever. Yeah, totally. But yeah, that's very cool. I had no idea. The more you know. Mm-hmm. Imagine a star flying over my head. Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, I worked on something today.
Oh.
This brings us back to bad Fuchs.
Yes.
I'll bring it around.
Go on.
I worked on my Automoji.
Oh, really?
For the first time in
your
almost
fans
a year.
Have been commenting furiously.
Are they?
On the message boards.
Oh, yes. Well.
Plus, you, like, the new for 96 Instagram is repurposed, isn't it?
No.
Oh, that was for something else.
It was something else.
Yeah.
We'll talk off the air.
Fine.
But I have an Instagram for Automoji that I'm, like, afraid to check because I had not looked. I've not paid attention. I've not done anything for it in so long. I just haven't been into it. But I did like 7 new cars today that I'm adding. I'm gonna add an update. It's gonna go up tomorrow.
Nice.
But I think what like set it off was someone complained to me.
Mm-hmm.
They bought it and they're like, can I use Automoji can I use this on Facebook Messenger? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, you really should put in the description that you can't. I'm like, what? It's a sticker pack. I don't know what I can say. I thought everyone knew by now what they were. I'm very sorry. And then I was like, you know what? I'll be a really nice guy. Like, hey, do you have a Porsche? He's like, well, he said, okay, well, you should put a description, but, you know, I'm a diehard Porsche guy.
What a, like, can I speak to your manager type comment?
I know exactly. But he's like, yeah, I'm a diehard Porsche guy, so I'll keep it. Because I had said, like, sorry if you were misled, but if you want a refund, Apple can handle
Facebook
that.
Messenger, like,
I know.
What are you going to use that for?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never used Facebook Messenger.
Me neither.
But anyway, so I was like, to go above and beyond his expectations, I was like, hey, what's your Porsche? I'll put it in.
Yeah.
So I did. So I added it.
Tell me it was not a good one.
Okay.
I really hope it was a terrible one. Like an outlaw Boxster.
No, it was... there's no way he'll hear this. It's going to be fine.
Nope.
It's a 2015 Targa.
Mm-hmm.
With, honestly... the worst Modern replica Fuchs I've ever seen.
Oh my!
Because they're like gigantic, like IROC style.
Oh man!
But not
like the 50th anniversary, which was kind of that.
No. I have never seen these before.
Okay,
and I've seen a lot of things.
Yeah,
and it's like, you know, the 60s Fuchs where it's like the polished pedals?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where it's like the pedals are polished.
Yeah.
Not even IROC, because IROC, they're just matte silver.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, on like long hoods, you'll see it.
Yeah, like that, but in like 19-inch.
Oh, no.
It's not great.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and also for this emoji, like the car, like everything that I had from a 991, I had to like tweak because it had like a different... like it was colored slats in the side grills, and then
just for the Targa?
No, just on this one.
Oh,
and then like the usually gray, like lower little tiny splitter.
Yeah. On
the just the regular Carrera was like body color,
yeah.
and then the headlights were different than the ones I had modeled, so I had to like kind of modify some. Anyway, it's not interesting, but the color was kind of cool. It was called lime gold.
Okay.
Which is like a greenish gold kind of color that I've seen on Boxsters in photos, like press photos and stuff. I've never really seen it in real life.
Wait, is this an official color or is it a PTS color?
Oh, no, it was an official color. Okay. I don't think it was through the full 991 range, but it was for a few years. Anyway, but I added Derek's GT4.
Nice.
Our friend Derek,
Derek
Powell.
His black GT4.
Exactly, yeah.
It's actually green, but it's very dark.
It's very dark. I was looking at pictures of it. It's called Brewster Green.
Yeah.
I was looking at pictures of other models in that color, and it really does look black. And actually, I had it too green and not dark enough, but it's almost... you have to force it a little bit, I imagine. I did, but then I kind of dialed it back, and it is more blue than I remember, and more it's not.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
I'm not saying it's blue, but I'm saying it's on the blue.
Yeah, it's not like it's not a warm green.
It's exactly. It's a very blue green. But
that's cool.
Yeah, so I added that. I added the new GT3 RS, like the very bright green one.
Yeah.
I added a couple other requested cars and. Or a couple that requested just like color changes, and I added the 919 Evo, which is fun to do because I had a 919 already, and so now I just like took off the headlights and reshaped the front, made it look extra matte, black, and stuff like that. Made the wing bigger.
That's quite the plug for Automoji. Are they going to be a sponsor of the show?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Automoji is donating my time
Excellent.
to doing this.
How invaluable.
Yes.
Amazing.
Automoji is a sticker pack for iOS. I might as well.
Yeah, if you don't, yeah.
It's car emoji
It's
stickers
car emojis,
for iOS. There's a Corvette one, there's a Porsche one, and a Radwood one.
Can you say that like legally?
No, not legally.
Okay.
No. I have a line I have to read legally.
Yeah.
That these are not licensed.
The
Corvette ones are licensed.
Okay.
The Porsche ones, it's called Automoji Stuttgart, but
yeah.
It is not licensed. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just protecting the podcast, Kevin.
Oh God.
Anyways, so this weekend I just been dealing with the Cayman so much, just getting it ready for sale. That I hadn't driven the Celsior really in probably almost a month, and I took it out for one day, like in between somewhere, but. I'm always nervous. It has a new battery anyways. Right after I bought it, I put a new one in, but I'm very afraid that it's going to die. And I should put it in a trickle charger, except that the storage unit has a lack of outlets. So I think you can plug it into one of the light bulb sockets, but that might be slightly dubious.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think that would
but the light bulb's on a timer though.
You can probably rig the timer to not turn off, but I bet you it would not be kosher. So I might do that in. I want to use it more though.
They have those things that just screw in and it's a socket.
So, but I want to use it more anyways. And so I took it out this weekend. Because it's been raining in Houston for almost the last week, at least just like a little. Yeah, it's been rain every single day. And today was like a monsoon, and then now it was like a monsoon for like 2 hours. My street flooded, almost to my stoop again.
Oh no!
I know. But yesterday it was fine. So I took it out for a few hours. I picked up our friend Steven, who was taking care of a Shiba Inu dog, and I purposely wanted to get a picture of this dog in the car because it's a Japanese dog in a Japanese domestic market car. I did. It was in my stories.
Oh, well, you need to post it to...
Oh, yeah. I will post it to New for 96. I was trying to make a dog pun there, but I couldn't think of something.
Oh.
Woof. I can't do it. Okay. We'll have to get Daniel Sloan on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Daniel, please help us out.
Side note to this: did you see the neon sign in his living room?
Yes.
Did he ask you to interpret it?
Yes.
Did you get it?
Yes.
You did? Did you break it down?
No, I think he had shown me. It to me earlier.
Okay.
He explained it to me before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just when finally all the pieces came together, there was no more an appropriate piece of art in his house than that neon sign. That is like the embodiment of him.
Yes.
It was amazing in that sense.
When I was there, his cousin was there. And he was the guy that bought it for him.
Oh, really? Yeah. He said his cousin. Yeah. That's so funny.
It's a neon sign, and it basically like a pictogram of neon sign. Is that right?
There's a knee.
Yes.
There's a knee. It's on a sine wave, as in like mathematical sine wave. And it requires a little bit of, I think, help to get you there, but then like it doesn't hit you like progressively. It hits you honestly at the very end. Like, oh my God, this is so you.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. I don't even know why I started talking about that, but so I took the Celsior out. It's always kind of fun to drive that car. I mean, it is basically an LS400, so a slow, kind of floaty big car, but it's just fun. Like, it's just fun and different. It's kind of a refreshing. It's like switching hands. Oh, Christ! I was going to say it's like switching hands to do something that you normally do with one hand. But
all right. We had a good run. I'm sorry that we just got canceled. We've lost all of our future sponsors.
Yep. But so when you start driving on the right hand side, like
we just lost Automoji as a sponsor.
Yep. Shit. God damn, they're so judgmental. Those Puritans.
Today is Sunday. We're recording.
I guess. But yeah, so when you drive on the other side, like, there's just, like, you just kind of get this sense of, like, there's a little bit of excitement because it's just different. I mean, you know what it's like? It's like,
I don't, because you've never let me driven the Celsius.
I've offered it to you, and you drove it, like, 100 feet.
Did I?
Oh, no, that was Levi.
Oh, my
He asked to drive it, and so he drove it, like, 100 feet.
Wow.
But, yeah, you're welcome to drive it any time.
I drove Derek Powell's GT4 100 feet.
You drove it 100. You drove it 5 miles an hour, 100 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. I sat in the passenger seat. It didn't even move at that point. Because I was so upset about the Toro thing.
I love those seats.
The seats are good.
The seats are so good.
They're very good. But anyways, yeah, the Celsius. I will keep that car for a long time. Like, I really like it.
That's awesome. I like I've said this before, but you've got like two keepers that make you very happy.
Yeah,
and
I've been putting together like my ideal kind of garage of like normal-ish cars, and so now I need that last. That's not the last piece, but. That air cooled, so but
join me in hell.
Yeah, no kidding.
Come on in.
The price range that
the air is fine.
The air is fine. It's just like if you thought it was hard owning your old car.
Yeah. I honestly think that an air cooled you can get away with a lot more cosmetic things because of those impact bumpers.
I really hope that the car that I get is a little bit patinaed so that I am not like constantly worrying about like every single little like imperfection.
What's so weird is that it seems like every air cooled was like repainted in 2002.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I don't know why that. I don't know why that is, and I hope there's a little bit like I've been looking at cars that the price range that I'm looking at, and the type of car that I want to get. I want to skip over mid years, and so like. It's in this range where there are options, but like it's a hard place to land. And like so the cars that I've been sending you are like they're either low mileage but need work, or high mileage and like too patinaed or too high mileage, or they're 993s and you're wondering why it's that low, or they're black. So, and I just cannot own another black car.
Especially when it's like 40 years old.
I know.
Like, there'd just be too much to look at.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my, yeah. Because there's that one black 993 for like, it's like listed at 42 or something like that, which is a really reasonable price for a 993. But it's black, and to be fair, it has like a lot of rock chips. Mm-hmm. So the bumper and the hood have a lot of rock chips, and so I'm like a little tempted by this one particular car just because it's already kind of like imperfect. So what if I just kept it imperfect? But that's a lie to me, from me, because it would wear away at me. Like, well, what if I fix this? And then what if I fix this? And then before I know it, like, so I won't be doing that. I have to convince myself. None of these are just like, none of them are like exactly what I want. Like they all, there's an issue that like I have with each one of these ones, or each one of these options. So we'll see. Maybe in the next podcast, I'll have done something stupid. So we'll see.
And then you'll be calling this guy in Arkansas, like, you gotta come get your car.
Like, you gotta learn how to drive a stick real fast, buddy. Yeah. So we shall see. Kevin, what is that dumb thing that you brought, like, that's sitting right there next to your chair? you've been itching to show this off to me.
Oh, yes. But before we do brochures, I wanted to talk to you for a second about that the Momo rally.
Oh, yeah.
So I am driving my 1989 11 to Rensport Reunion.
From Houston, Texas.
2,000 miles.
Yep.
Pretty much. And back. I feel like coming back, it's just a given it's going to break down somewhere, but I would love to make it there.
The back trip is always the worst part because the journey is done kind of in a way, although you might feel differently, but for me, that's like the least enjoyable part.
Well, I'm going to go a different route. I'm going to do more photo stops on the way back. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try and stay in LA for a few days between the event and when I come back, so I will have it'll be fresh.
Ooh, okay.
So it'll be really cool. I'm gonna try to reach out to my contacts and try to go to like the Mazda basement and stuff.
Yeah.
Like do like LA things, but with my car and Angeles Crest and stuff. So it'll be cool. But the Momo Road to Rensport. I think our friend Michael Meldrum did this in 2015, Rensport. But it's like a group drive limited to 100 cars going from basically just outside of Rod Emery's shop to like there's a stop in Buttonwillow and then Laguna Seca. It's just a one-day rally, but it's pretty cool and it's gonna be like the coolest.
That's so exciting.
It's gonna be like because of the limit, it's gonna be like the coolest people in the Porsche community, and you know a lot of people are out there. A lot of people are based in LA and everything, and I'm very lucky that
will be on it. Obviously, Rod Emery will be.
I'm very lucky that I got accepted in. I'm just stoked. You know, I did mention that my car, you know, will be driving from Texas, so it's like, I don't know. Do I just leave it dirty for that, or I clean it up?
Hell yeah, leave it dirty. That'd be cool. Like that has. Don't even wash it until you get back, if that's possible.
No, I'm bringing car wash stuff, and I'm gonna wash it somewhere.
Can you imagine like how dirty the car would be and how cool it would look? Like,
my newly painted front valence will be like rock chipped.
Yeah. Do you think are you tempted at all to protect it somehow? Like maybe wrap it, like clear bra it or something?
No.
That's kind of a shame. Like, well, it's not a shame, but like. Because it's just so like freshly done, and you'll be adding like maybe a couple of years worth of patina to it immediately.
The front valence is like the funny thing about a front valence on a 911 is that like when you're close enough to actually notice it,
it's orange, like it's super orange peeled.
No, not that, but probably. Yeah. But when you were close enough to actually notice it, like you have to be on the ground, like
I guess so.
It's below that. Yeah, the smile bumper.
Yeah.
So like you have to either be like really low or you have to be far away to actually see the valence.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
It's fine. It's battle scars that you're proud to get.
Yeah. Well, that's so exciting. Like, and hopefully, like, I'm gonna check my schedule, but I'd love to fly out there for the weekend.
Yeah, you should. Blake will be out there. Yeah. There'll be a lot of it will be the largest. It is the largest gathering of Porsches in the world.
I know It'd be really cool. I'd never ever made any plans to go out there, but like it sounds like it'll be. I
mean, I've been talking about it so much, and I have not even said until recently, like you should try to go. But you should try to go.
It wasn't even a consideration. But yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd go up there, tour something, drive down, and hang out.
I mean, and just going to Laguna Seca is amazing.
I know, I've never been.
It's. I mean, for me, it's the best racetrack in North America.
Yeah,
definitely. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And you've driven it, right?
No, I've never driven.
I thought you did.
I 10 years ago, I got to ride in. It doesn't sound exciting, but it was. I promise. I rode in a safety car. It was a CX-7.
Oh,
like not tuned, but even just it was just like a suspension, full cage and everything. CX-7. With a pro driver, one of their pros who knows the track and everything, did a lap, and it was incredible.
I can tell you that it's probably going to be a lot less fun trying to drive it on a WeatherTech map.
I know.
I would be very excited to see Laguna Seca and everything else.
Yeah.
In that area, because Northern California, I've been up there to go do Napa Valley and the city, obviously. But other than that, I haven't really like explored.
Yeah. Well, if you don't make it out this time, we'll drag you out another time. Yeah. But this is really the thing to go to.
Plus, like, well, if you're driving your car, you can't drive. If I find a car out there, you're supposed to drive it back. That's not going to happen.
You're not going to find a car out there.
I know. It's going to be, I've been looking casually for a year, and now the throttle's on now. I really, really am antsy to find a car. But yeah, so who knows? Yeah. Is the brochure burning your hand?
The pressure?
No, the brochure.
Oh, yes, it is. It's scorching.
Oh, no.
Well, again, I wish...
Audience, you should comment on whether or not, like, the fact that we're, like, I used to read Porn to the Blind, and that was a challenge.
Well, that's what I'm about to do right now.
Yeah, so we're tell us if, like, us describing a visual thing, if there are any improvements we can make to help you better see what's going on. Precious words.
I do not respond to constructive or otherwise criticism.
We'll go directly into junk.
Yeah. This is a 2003 or 5 Soarer 430 SCV brochure. It says in the most scripty font, and I don't know this font, but it's the scriptiest script font I've ever seen. Something like Edwardian
They are
script.
a discerning buyer.
It says, "For your dream to drive." Every single word is capitalized, not every letter.
So we should clarify. This is a
Lexus SC430.
But
folding hardtop, but it's the Japanese market, and this is a hardtop brochure.
This took the place of the very, like, historically important to Toyota, like Toyota Soarer, which was the SC300 and 400, and much like it had replaced that car here, it was the same car over there.
Hey, remember when I saw that SC300 in Houston with wheels from the SC430?
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing.
That was terrible.
This is an SC430 with a Griffith on
That's the Soarer logo.
I know. I'm just painting a picture here.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I can't read any of this. Oh, look at this picture under this red sky with the folding hardtop and then just a red car with the top up.
This is so bad.
It says in all script, open air cruising.
So bad.
Why am I so excited about this and you're not?
You just, because you Toro'd one of these once.
Because I love them.
In irony, and then fell in love.
I did. I Toro'd an SC430. We drove it to Joshua Tree. We had Lynyrd Skynyrd playing on the tape deck the entire time.
Yep. This was the last car produced with a tape deck.
The last car.
Yeah.
It was produced until 2009. You could get it with the tape deck.
Yeah.
Throughout
the
entire range. I love seeing a Soarer with I love seeing an SC430 with a Toyota badge.
Yeah.
Metal top convertible, it says in all script. The script, we'll post pictures because it really has to be seen to believe.
It is. This is very...
It's like there's 9 English words in the whole thing, and they're all kerned and typeset horribly.
Yep. This is a...
Look at that interior. I do love this interior.
The interior is... I will describe it as not objectionable.
It's got a nice wheel.
Although that was the same one that was in the ES330 and the RX.
Yeah, all Pebble Beach Edition vehicles, except for the RX.
Yeah. Do you think they had a Pebble Beach Edition?
I don't think so.
Toyota Soarer?
I don't think so, because they would have had... The badge would have had
I don't know what any
side marker
beaches are in Japan, but I wonder if they had, like, a Tokyo... North Tokyo. Tokyo's not even on a beach, I don't think.
Whenever I see Mark Levinson on the stereo, I always think of, like, Levinson... Like, what was it on on The Office, Jan Levinson Gould.
I don't like The Office, so
I did at the time. I don't know.
I don't know
that it's aged
what you're talking
horribly.
about.
Anyway, Blake will get this and he'll laugh. You know, I said something to Blake today. I mentioned something to him and he's like, yeah, I know. I listen to the podcast. I already heard this. I was talking about the Bisimoto thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm like signing it, Kevin. Move closer to the microphone.
Earlier you were saying move farther away.
I know, because you were like peaking the meters with your excitement about, I forget what.
This is a picture of the engine. It says power unit. In the scriptiest script.
I will only describe motors as power units now.
That's what they do in Formula One.
Yep. And
this is basically Formula One. It's a Soarer. I'd like to remind you, this is hardcover, and also it's way better than that shitty 7 Series hardcover brochure, which Chris reviewed, which I used to have one in my collection, and I got rid of it because it was so mediocre.
It was really bad. But it was like flashy, which is, I guess, what they thought the E38 buyer.
Yeah, but this is flashy.
Into.
You see these scripts?
Yeah. There's a lot of scripts. Very fancy.
Passive safety with a lot of flourish.
Yeah, that's like romance novel typography.
Yeah.
That's the title.
Okay, I guess oh man, there's still more pages.
A lot to unpack. Whew, a lot.
That's what the roof does. It unpacks.
Yep.
When we rented that one, I lost a sweater in it.
Really? Like in the folding mechanism?
I think so.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I never found it.
Yeah.
I never found it. And I liked that sweater.
That's too bad.
Yeah. It was very cold. It was December. It was December in California, which is not actually cold, but
yeah.
You know, what can you do?
What can you do?
Are these mats? Oh, these are the dealer's option for accessories. None of the fonts on this page have appeared anywhere else in this whole book.
Oh no. Yeah, and this is like it's like a stapled in page of like, all right, now we get to the good stuff. The like dealer options.
This is the finest brochure I have.
I don't doubt that is the case.
Oh god damn it.
Oh my god. Well, that was fantastic.
Well, what do you have? You're willing to talk?
No, I didn't really get anything. Okay. So I reached in for something, but I'll have something for the next time.
All right, fine.
So, because we're approaching hour 4 again.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's a podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. From all of us, Christopher, myself.
Thanks for listening.
And then like and subscribe and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Outro.
And check our Instagram at New496 where you can maybe potentially 40% chance see pictures of the stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
And check that out. Email us. Yeah. We'll post that later.
Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.